Well, hello, and welcome aboard. Having some difficulties with today's stream, but that's normal thing after the summer break. So let's go. Hopefully you all follow the new link. I subscribe to the social media, but please put it forward if you don't already done it. But hey, welcome aboard, and it's time to start the Finnish Auto Sim Racing Team Fast to Season 2 in 2025, and it starts with the expedition race between Finland and South Africa. My name is Markus Viitanen, and I will try to commentate you as much the things happens during the race. But now it's time a little bit to see what's happening today and where we are and what is coming. But hey, please put to the comment if you are hearing me and everything is seeing and doing as they supposed to do. I am having some difficulties with my gear, and let's hope everything works fine during this evening. Qualification has started already, and we are trying to have at least final results of that, and there is a 5-minute time period when everything seems to be working there. We are following how the Finnish driver are going through that race and that qualification, but let's have a short time. Everything seems to be working for you, so I am only one here having these difficulties, but let's hope we are fighting through them during this evening. So we are driving against the Finland and South Africa's teams, and we are driving in a Onemake race in here Daytona Road track in USA. And track length is 5.7 kilometers, and corners is 12 corners in this semi-oval track. And as I said, there's a 5-minute qualification, and it has been started and already ending. Let's try to have those results to this stream. And race length is 29 laps about. If somebody knows how much in a minutes they are, I think it's like a 45 to 50 minute race. So let's see what is happening there. Now we are having these things what we are having. And now, as I said, it's a Onemake race in this Corvette car C7 and a GT3 is a class 2. Mandatory compounds needs to be used during this evening. They are racing soft and racing medium compounds, and both needs to be used at least a 3-lap period. This is pretty straightforward, as you see from the everything we are having, and tire wear is 1 times, and fuel consumption race is 4 times, and initial fuel in a race is 100%. So let's hope we are having and seeing some kind of strategies between the drivers. And as I said, 2 South African drivers in position 1 and 2. I cannot give it that to you now, but let's hope everything works after I will start that program again. But it's nice to see you here, everybody, and we are trying to have this English commentation and in this international race, and let's hope all of our international friends can understand what we are trying to achieve here. And this is a friendly race between Finland and South African teams. 2 lobbies. The lobby B has just ended, and South African team got the winning position, and Finland took positions 2 and 3. So it went very well to our Finnish friends there. But now we are waiting until that will happen and start that race. 1 minute, and I will need some hope that everything is going well with my PlayStation. Is having some difficulties, so let's try to fight them through. Pistä keikkaa. So we are waiting for 1 minute and then starting the race, so please have some patience. I need to try to something, and I hope everything goes well with that, so everybody can see the stream and not me only. This is happening now because I have no idea. Everything worked fine in a 5 minutes before the race, and of course there's the first race in the season, so it's good to have these issues before the Finnish National Championship is starting in 2 weeks. But now I really hope everything is going well, and then we are starting the race. But it seems like everything is working for you to the home stream, so that is a good thing. For that, bad thing is I cannot see the stream or cannot stream the race to you. But hey, it seems to be like a radio show today, but no way, Jose. Let's do the one more restart for this, and then we are continuing. But I just watch this short commercial, and we will see in a few. Now you don't need to watch that anymore, so let's try and let's jump into the race that just started. And of course we are going through the names of the drivers today, and after that we are starting everything, and everything is looking fine. Hopefully it looks also to you, but hey, let's see what's happening. Okay, we are jumping to the stream and jumping to the red track, and now we are going for the second lap, and please let me know if the car sounds are okay and everything is okay, and I will adjust the volumes here. Everything seems to be working now, but let's not say and jinx it. So the South African drivers started in P1 and P2, Levitius and Panic Potato. And, after that is Sippala Könönen, Rose Köpeläniitty Leinonen from Finnish teams, and 8th position De Jager, and Brandvin 9th, Chas in 10th, Haapasaari in 11th. And when we are going through the Wolf in P12. And as you can see, the both teams are having the team liveries in the cars, and I need to doing some advertising for the Hartikainen's team painting for the Finnish team. If you want to go and give a thumbs up in the PlayStation and Gran Turismo to Hartikainen, absolutely marvelous job for that. And let's see, everything is seemingly going well. Sippala in 3rd position. some kind of strategies if you want to trying to have some kind of look or thinking what there is maybe happening. Two stop strategies for both teams are expected, and then about 10 to 9 laps per each tire compound. And as I said, both compounds need to be used and need to be used in this race. And Roscoe in 5th position and Peranittu in 7th position. De Jager, Brandevin in 9th and 8th, and then Jazz and Haapasaari. I think Haapasaari are to some positions lost and having some kind of tight fight between Wolfie and Shadow. And of course there is a Shadow too from the Finnish team, and 7 versus 7 drivers, and it should be, but if I calculated right, there's like a 6 to 7, so something like that. Sippala is trying to catch the panic potato in front of him, but not yet having this moment that, as you can see from the left bottom right, what kind of tires, cars or drivers have been chosen to this start of this race. Levitius in racing medium and a panic potato, and I think there was some kind of wide exit from that corner in that bus stop in this Daytona track, and no penalties for him. And as I said, please put to the stream if you are hearing the car sounds correctly, and of course the sounds of the, maybe not me, but maybe you are trying to having me off here. But Sippala, Könönen, Röskö, Peranittu, Leinonen again, and Jager is rising up. I think he's trying to catch Leinonen from this P8 and P7 battle between Leinonen and from the exit. Leinonen got a little bit extra, and now the South African driver is trying to catch Mr. Leinonen in position 7, and now the exit from this corner is a little bit tricky, and you need to be careful with the throttle in that exit after you are having some problems. Okay, Levitius is being the first driver in this 3-driver package. Levitius, Panic Potato and Sippala, they are all in a half a second away from each other, and I think Sippala is still in a draft position where he can use the draft of these 2 South African drivers and achieve some kind of pull from them and maybe save some fuel behind these drivers. But hey, let's hope the Sippala will catch them and go having going to have this overtake position where he can try to overtake these 2 drivers. Shadow have rose to this position 12 after Haapasaari. I think there's some kind of team strategy. This is a team driver and the team points. As I said, this is a friendly race, but you know, when the drivers put their virtual helmets on, this is not like a playground anymore after that. But the position is still, I think the strategy will affect to these positions after, I think, next few laps. As I said, this is mainly what I am expecting, like 10 to 12 laps will last the fuel. If you are having a full throttle drive and race, maybe the 10 laps will be difficult to have, and I think one Finnish driver in Lappi B tried to have 13 lap stint and fuel ended in the last lap, so some problems with that, and I think the teams will make some communications between the drivers in lobby A and lobby B. The drivers has been chosen by this team management, and of course the drivers themselves they can affect which lobby they are participating. Brandevun in position 9, 1.1 seconds between Jager and Jas in 8 and P8 and P10, so these team members are not having this battle against each other, and of course there's no need to have a battle against each other, but here's a battle between Wolfie and Shadow. Shadow in upper right of this corner and trying to have this cross kind of movement in this corner, but didn't make his move up to one position to the 11th, and again drive and race against the Wolfies. Battle against Wolfies starting to look beautiful and having this tight fight. And now the Sippala has also making this overtake a bit between the Panic Potato. I think that it was in a straight one, and now in this again one full throttle position part of this track. As you can see, the Daytona road track has been built in inside of the Daytona oval track, and as you can maybe remember from the IndyCar races or NASCAR races, the oval track is pretty fast, and this road track has made some more corners, and having this Moncar was strategy track for these GT3 cars, and now we are having Levitius between fight Sippala in second and Panic Potato in third position. And rest of the cars, Könönen, Peräni, Röyskylä, Eronen and Jäger are fighting each other in this next train that has no way to achieve and reach these top 3 drivers that are driving in their own race in this one position 2 and 3. But there was some kind of fight between I think Röyskö and Jäger, or did I see wrong? As I said, beautiful liveries for the cars. Both teams have made their movements and pretty paintings for the cars. Upsar started the pit strategy in lap 7, maybe some kind of problems with the R2 there, and as you can see that was the corner. I said that there need to be careful with the throttle or the rear end of the car will having some extra movements and difficulties to start for this full throttle path in a back straight. Miro Sippala in a second position in a 0.4 second gap between that driver, and Könönen in standard livery, and they are having this Peräni to his pump drafting, and South African team asked if the pump drafting is allowed, and yes, it seems like it is allowed, and team Finland is also using that. And our team Finland is started the strategy in cars from the positions 4 and back, started the position or the pit stops in a 7th lap also, or 8th lap, and let's see what will happen now. My graphics didn't expect that, so they are having a long stints in racing mediums, and maybe the fuel will last in those drivers more than this like 12 lap or so. Brandevin in a 7th position, and Jas in 8th position, Wolfie 9th, Shadow 10th, and that after that those 3 cars that went to the pit stop, and let's see what will the top 2 drivers do. Are they Sippala and Levitius going for the pit stop, or are they having some kind of difficult strategy or different strategy between the team members? I think the next lap will be the last lap with the racing mediums, if the cars or drivers will do that. But let's see, I don't know the things are happening there, so let's wait and see. Panic Potato in a 3rd position. Let's see what will happen. From his eyes, they are continuing in a main straight, and now the 3 top drivers will continue in a track. And again, this is a really fast-paced track, so we will see how long the cars or the fuel will last in this kind of or this profile track or layout. So the 9th lap from this exhibition race between Finnish and South African teams have been driven and started, and a South African team is presented by Sim Racing Association SRA, and it was a really pleasant information that they wanted to race against the Finnish national team. So again one more new country for both countries to race against, and very much expected race that has started the Finnish Auto Sim Racing team fast the season in this autumn. Sippala is pushing against Levitius rear bumper, and it is a little bit hard position and a little bit also afraiding position to drive as so close as that Miro Sippala just drove between Levitius, and let's see what will happen. Lennon in a P5 and Brandwin 6th, De Jager in 7th position, Wolf in 8th position, and 3 seconds apart from the team member there, and now the 3 top drivers at least went to the pit. Shadow in the 9th position, Charles in the 10th position, Könönen and Röskö in 11th and the 12th position, and let's see what will happen when we will see when the Könönen will pass the finish line. He was one of the first drivers that went to the pit stop, and now we will see what will happen. Can he make the overpass for these 8 or 9 drivers in front of him, or can they just start between before the Könönen and Röskö in different strategies than they went? Of course, everybody in a pit stop will have those soft compounds, and as we can see, Levitius, Sippala and Panic Potato, they just took their own positions back, and now they are racing against the Leinonen in a P1. And Leinonen didn't go to the pit stop yet, so I think these 3 drivers will have their own positions back. After that, Janne Leinonen will go from the P1 to the pit. Panic Potato for the position racing against the Sippala in 8, and of course the Könönen less than 1 second behind, and Röskö also really close to the team member in front of him. And because we had some difficulties before the race, I didn't have time to go through what ended for this race. Of course, the South African team contacted and Finnish Auto Team Sim Racing team, and of course after that everything went very well. And of this race, the settings are pretty similar than the series Nordic Masters that the Finnish Auto Sim Racing teams Finland and team raced against the national teams of the northern Nordic countries, but the track and a car was chosen by the South African team, so this is a little bit they just informed in the Finnish team that we will drive in a Daytona road track with the Corvette, and that suits very well to the Finnish team. But let's see maybe in half an hour what will happen in this race. I think most of the drivers have already taken their pit stops, and Leinonen in De Jager in 8th position. And let's go through the grid again one more time. Apsari in 10th position, Wolf in 11th, Shadow in 12th, and Jas in 13th position. And Shadow is chasing the Wolfie, and if he gets a better exit from this corner, he will definitely go for the overpass move in before the bus stop in back straight, in the middle section of the back straight. And now Shadow is making his move, moving maybe not to the opposite side or other side of the track. Let's see what will happen. He will need to brake really hard, and not some kind of bumping will not happen there. Jazz in the 13th position, and let's see what is going. Sippala is really struggling to have this overtake position from the South African driver, Levitius in a P1. Levitius is making everything that is possible to make it more difficult to Sippala make his overpass and move to the P1, and then it seems like Sippala is having more and more pace than a little bit faster driver than Levitius in a P1, but you need to make that overpass, Miro, and after that maybe just start to pulling a little bit cap in Levitius, and it is really difficult to make those caps in this track where those main parts are that fast-paced and full throttle parts, and if you are close enough, as you can see from this point of view, there's no possibility because the draft will pull the drivers or cars a little bit nearer again and closer each other. Panic Potato in a P3, and let's see, there's Könönen in a P4. Finnish drivers have been taking the P4, 5, 6 and 7 and trying of course reach to the top podium drivers or the positions of course. So half a second apart between Könönen and Panic Potato. Leinonen in P7, De Jager in P8, Brennevin in P9, Apsari in P10, Shadow in P11 and Wolfie in P12 and Charles in P13. That our drivers are trying to pull each other against more closer than drivers in before them. I think I didn't see how much was the gap between the P1 and the P13. At least all the drivers have went to the pit stop. It's only the 14-second gap between the P1 and P13, so everything is still possible because we are still having this one stop. The fuel will not last until the end of the race, so everybody needs to stop and make some refueling at least. Maybe the tries will last and no need to have a new compound or new set of these racing soft tires. Maybe somebody in a stream will make that note for me, and I'm gonna put it up from the stream also. Sippala in second place against fighting and pulling himself in a closer position, but no chance to make this overpass if he is still in a 0.3 gap between the P1, so no movement from him. Könönen P4, 0.4 seconds gap between his and he and Panic Potato in a P3, and of course the Röske in a P5, also the 0.4 second gap between the team member Können. Perenit is pulling Leinonen and trying to slingshot him for the fast and full pace. Of course, this is interesting to see how will the Finnish wall in positions 4 to 7 will last. The race is in the middle point of itself, and the Jager is having very good time and having his best lap in the last second lap of the previous lap, and is really starting to have this own space and using it very well, and having more room and more time to rise up in the position ladder. Ups are in a P10, 0.5 seconds between the team member Shadow, and team member Shadow is about a 1 second gap between the South African drivers Wolfie and Chas in a P12 and P13. Let's go back to the top, and let's trying to see if the Xippala will make his move. He is giving the pressure to the Levitius in a P1, and I think there's some kind of advantage in Xippala's position. He can save some fuel in second position, but of course there's a risk that because he's driving really close of the Levitius all the time, the chance that he will having some collide after this full of throttle parts, of course we will not want that, and that is a little bit difficult. But also when the race and the track goes from the oval part, it is a little bit wall part and going this inside track, and there's some kind of gap and corner or some kind of that will make the cars a little bit more oversteering, and a little bit difficult to brake in at that position and at that braking point or turn 1. So not yet Seppala is make his movement to the first position, but let's see what will happen in the next few laps. And if you have some kind of some driver that you want to be following, please put a chat and have a chat. Of course, some kind of questions, please put them there. I will try to answer, and there's some drivers want the Labi P2 also, and they can also try to answer your questions. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and press some thumbs up for the stream. At least we are having a great time in this first race of this season in a Finnish auto sim racing team. In 2 weeks we'll start the Finnish National Championship, and it will go through whole long and dark autumn here in Finland. So the results will be seen in end of the November and a bit beginning of the December. So please stay in the channel and subscribe and put some bell and thumbs up also. Thank you. Xippala still 0.2 seconds apart from the Levitius. I think Levitius is having difficulties to make his car wide enough, and trying to keep the Xippala's Finnish flash driver, the white and blue ice cold car, as the team South African team said, from that beautiful Finnish car. Levitius is having clean laps, as you can see from his lap times, 11th lap and this last 15th lap. All the laps between 0.2 second part of each other, and then let's see how will it continue in after this lap 16. How's the battle between Könönen and Panic Potato? It's 0.4 seconds again, or look like all the cars are just the same gap between each other. Only the position 1 and 2, Levitius and Sippala in P1, P2, they are going then their own race between each other. 5 seconds gap between these two, and as I said, that the gap between the first 13th car is 16 seconds, so the position 3 and 13 only 11 seconds apart, and the pit stop will need to be done at least for one time. So let's see what will happen after that, and we are in that window, that pit stop window that will start in the next few laps. So please stay in a stream and chant for your own team, and let's hope the Finnish team will start to rise up and having these more podium positions. Of course, these positions are 2 to 7 are really good when we are calculating the points, but of course the team members want to have the gold medal and of course every other medal that might be given during this race. Peranitto in 6th position and 7th position, Leinonen 0.7 seconds between those two, 1.4 seconds between Leinonen and P8 Jager, then after him is Brannevyn in a P9, 2.8 seconds, 4 seconds gap between Wolfie, so I think this might be, yes, it's a 4 seconds gap between position 3 and position 8, so there's a possibility that somebody will make that movement, and will Sippala make his movement in when this lap 18 will start in the first corner? Not yet, but it is really interesting and outstanding to see, as the Timo said in a chat, how that Sippala, the young driver, Finnish driver, he is managing to drive so close between Levitius all the time and making his braking points happen and work so well. Könönen is pulling the team Röykö, Peranitto, Leinonen between them, and they are trying to overpass the Panic Potato in front of them, but 0.5 seconds gap between that, and I think the Panic Potato is making this some kind of bottleneck in this race, and now the teams are trying to overpass them. Of course, the team drivers are communicating each other in this team chat, and we are trying to see when we will start the next pit stop strategy will making effect. Not yet in this lap, maybe the next one, Levitius in P1, and now it is time for the Sippala. Is he making his move? Not yet in a pit stop, maybe the exit of the pit stop and trying to overpass him, or has he saved some fuel more than Levitius in P1? That will make an effect in pit stop if that has been done. Panic Potato in a 3rd position, and maybe some again there's a Phoenix wall in Könönen, Peranitto, Röykö, Leinonen, and of course now they started the lap. Könönen and Röykö started the finish second lap, the undercut strategy in lap 19, 10 laps to go, and when we are driving the 45 laps, it is about 15 minutes before the race will end. So let's chant for and cheer for all team members and of course your favorite drivers. The Jager has also for the 6th position. Brannevyn also have brought his South African team driver as his car to the 7th position. Shadow in 8th position, Wolfie in 9th position, Charles in 10th, Könönen just exit from the pit in 11th position, and let's see when the top drivers will start their pit stops. Will start in this lap. Will the Sippala continue before, or will he make an undercut for the Levitius? What will happen in this top 2? Will they go to the pit stop after this lap? And now Sippala is inside of the track, making his move and having this overtaking, beautiful overtaking this bus stop part of this Daytona track. And it was a cold-headed move for the Sippala, and beautiful exit from the bus stop. Now he's P1, Levitius has left in a P2, and now we will see what will happen. Will they go inside? Of course both will go in, and now we will see what will happen in this strategy movement. Now of Perani to Leinonen starts and continues as he did in a previous pit stop. Now he's in own place in the first position, and of course we will see closely and watch closely what will happen. The overcut drivers, I think Finnish drivers at least, they made that move, that pit stop before this lap. Brannevin in a second position. Now we will wait until the Levitius Sippala Könönen now in a fifth position. No, Levitius has taken the position back in a pit stop, so Sippala took more fuel than him, so the Levitius is back in a P3 or the P1 after the Leinonen and Brannevin will go for the pit stop. Then last pit stop, and now it will continue this exciting spectacle in this battle between Levitius and Sippala, and Panic Potato in a P5 and Perani to Könönen. They have also changed the position, and Perani to in a 6th position, Könönen in a 7th position. So that was a little bit movement from the starting movement from those drivers, and let's see what will happen. And of course, Sir Max, welcome aboard, and hello from this Finnish stream also. Let's see what will happen. Which team will make their move in this last stint of this evening. Leinonen P1, but he will go in, and of course the Sippala Brannevin in 4th position. Maybe there's some kind of strategy between those. No, I think did he end his fuel? The car is going so slow, and I think he's having some difficulties. Now only 200 kilometers per hour, and he's in this top straight, and no fuel for him. He didn't remember to fuel enough and having difficulties in that stint. So something happened to Brannevin, and now that parts have been changing. But now Levitius Sippala, Panic Potato, Perani to Könönen, and the Jager in a 6th position. So the rest of the 8 laps will have some excitement to this Sunday evening if you are watching this exhibition race in Gran Turismo 7 in a straight and live. And if you are not, welcome aboard, and please join the movement of the Gran Turismo, International Gran Turismo, in a battle between Finnish team and South African team, Sim Racing Association. So let's see what will happen. 0.7 seconds gap between P1 and P2, and what will happen in P3. This is a battle between Peranittu and Panic Potato. 0.4 seconds gap between those drivers, and it looks like no driver didn't have the new tires. They have been continued with those previous drivers. Of course, the tire wear is only 1 time, so there's no need to having that new soft compound. And can the Peranittu make his movement? Same movement that they did Sippala in the previous. Of course, that is a beautiful movement, and after the break I think he got the position in the inside of the track, and now Panic Potato needed to brake more than Peranittu, and Peranittu flow through that bus stop to the P3, and let's wait. Is it happening again? Könönen is far away, 1.2 seconds apart from that, and the Jager 0.8 second between Könönen and of course there's Leinonen, Röyskö, Panic Wolfi in P9, Jazz in P10. Shadow in 11th, 12th in Haapsaari and Brennevin in 13th position. And he had difficulties in the last stint and last lap of that stint. I think he ended his fuel and had some difficulties in that. But now 22nd lap has started in this exciting race between Finnish and South African teams in Gran Turismo 7. This is exhibition race, and I think and I hope that the same races will continue in next times also. 0.3 seconds. I think it was like 0.1 second before the Sippala made his move. Of course, it is some kind of a chess game. It is like similar track as the Le Mans. It is pretty much a chess game between the drivers. Sippala went to say hello to the drivers, Levidius in front of him, but no overtaking position there yet. And Sippala needed to make some more braking than Levidius, and as you can see, it gap between those drivers went to 0.1 to 0.3 seconds. And again, one more. The draft is pulling Sippala forward, and now is having the movement and saying hello to the left and right the mirror of the Levidius and saying, I am coming here, so be prepared. Current P5, 1.2 seconds between him and Panic Potato, and De Jager is rising star from behind. 0.3 seconds between Jager and Gönen P5 and P6. And let's see, and let's follow up how this battle will move again. Let's go back to the Sippala when he is starting the chase between Levidius. Now he's a 0.2 seconds apart. I think this is a possibility that he will make the chance for the and will go for the overtake in the bus stop. He's now so close of the Levidius, and let's see, is it happening? Not yet. Something happened and he needed to be some braking, and now no overtaking chance. Maybe some more pace for the main straight of this race, and let's go back for the battle in P5. Hello also for the smiling speecher and Kapoksi. Welcome aboard, and let's root for your favorites, and as Kapoksi is rooting for the Irtux is happening there, so let's see where the Irtux is going. He's a third position now in driving against the Panic Potato. Again, the Panic Potato is making his move for that just lost P3, and then of course now the Peranito will make his move and try to save his position, but there was locking brakes, and now the Panic Potato just got the third position like some more price. Jager in a P5, Gönen in a P6, and now the battle between these three drivers is going and following up against to get that one. And now again we will check out how will happen what will happen in a battle to the P1. And of course the Finnish team members will not want to happen that so many South African drivers in the top positions. So let's wait until the next 5 laps, and of course next laps will affect like and let's having that Finnish team and go up and up. The Jager in a 5th position and having following the Peranito in trying to make his move for the P5. Now Sippala has lost some time in that section of the track, 0.6 seconds. So it was a slow lap part of Sippala in that last lap, but hey, there's still 5 more laps to go, so let's go for that. Let's see what's happening in rear of the track Wolfie in 9th position, Shadow 10th, Zaz in 11th, Hapsar in 12th and 13th position, Brandevin and South African driver. So nothing has changed during the last meeting of those drivers. Jäger and Perenittu in a P4, P5 battling against for that. Of course, there's no. The Finnish driver does not want to have those two drivers, those two South African drivers in a P3 and P4. They will make that wall for those beautifully painted liveries, and then it will be making some difficulties. And let's see what will happen. Jäger is chasing the Perenittu. How about Sippala? 0.6 is now 0.4 seconds, so battle is on. 11 seconds, 11.5 seconds between position 2 and 3, and these two drivers, Levitus and Sippala, have been battling each other for whole race, and now we will see what will happen at the end of the race in these last 4 laps. And tires are functioning really very well, no need to worry about those, and of course everybody has making them pit stops. Let's see what will the fuel last until the last lap. It's had some kind of problem in the Brandevin in the last stint of the race. The Jäger in a 5th position. Chasing the Perenittu in a 0.4 second apart from him. Now there's a Sippala Levitus battle again. Sippala has taken that 0.6 second gap and making his lost of that, and now it is only the 0.2 and 0.3 seconds and less than 1.1 second in that main straight. So let's see what will happen in a back straight and the first part of the back straight. Which one of these drivers will have that better exit from that last corners of that cornery part of this midsection in this track. The next one will not make any gap for these two, but then maybe the next. Which one will slingshot themselves to the back straight of this track? Levitus now 0.5 seconds gap. What will 0.6 and which one 0.5? What will happen when they are starting the lap back straight? The Levitus had a little bit better start. It was the Sippala's, but no. Not yet, he's making his overpass turn. So Leinonen in the Jäger 6 and 5th position. So the Jäger is in a press between Perenittu and Leinonen. Of course, they will affect how the Jäger will make his move. Will he make his move for the overpass, or will he be defending the position for the Leinonen? He will need to focus the car front of him and behind of him, of course, and now we follow up for that. The Perenittu is again in the same position. He need to make a move to the panic potato, and the Jäger will having the same kind of place. So Perenittu will need to make his move really fast, because the Jäger is coming really strong behind of him. Now the Perenittu in outside. Will he make a break earlier? Will he make the movement inside of the track in this first corner? Not yet, and there was the Jäger in a very close position for that 4th position, having a possibility to overtake Perenittu in a P5 and P4. And of course there's a behind of some kind of package is coming, the Jäger and the Leinonen in a next one achieving that position. And now these 4 drivers, they will make the effect, and they will make the move for the 3rd position, 3rd podium in this track. The points 1 and 2, if anything worse will happen. Oh, they're sliding against and what was the Jäger jumped from the track, and no, some kind of slippery slope from him. So let's follow up for that. So Sippala and Levitus will race for that P1. They have been battling each other for the whole race, this whole evening. They have been fighting each other, and of course, of course, that battle is still on. We have 2 more laps to go, 2.5 laps to go after this one, and now we are having a great evening, great battle between Finnish and South African teams in Gran Turismo 7 and this Daytona road track. The last lap of the evening has just started, and we'll see what will happen in this battle between Levitius and Sippala. Of course, Leinonen and Panic Potato in P3 and P4. Let's follow up that also. But now the battle is on. Battle is definitely on, and now will the Sippala make his move in this lap? Can he browse his way to the so close to the Levitius that he can make that overpass? Try that overpass in the spot stop section of this track, or will it move for the first corner of the track? Those are the 2 places where that overtake can be made in this track. Point 3 seconds, and now we will see, will the Sippala make his move for the first position? 0.2 seconds, and he's closing that gap. The draft is pulling him to the first position. Now the overtake position of Levitius will make a movement for the inside of the track, and no way the Sippala will make the overpass for this lap. And now we will see what will have make his the jumping across those apexes, and now they are hunting each other for this last lap is starting for this evening's race, and now we will follow up. Which can the Sippala make his move? He is pulling himself for that straight, and now he's pushing each other and making this pullback effect for the Sippala and Levitius, and now the Sippala needs to make his move, or can the Levitius protect that P1? And now they are so close each other. 0.2 seconds. Whole this evening they have been close this, and now the battle is still on. Of course, we will see what will happen in this Finnish called Letka Jenka here in position 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Leinonen has moved himself to the 3rd position, so let's see what will happen in P1 and P2. Can the Sippala make his movement, or can Levitius protect his last time? This corner will make the movement and will definitely say what is happening. Sippala is hunting high and hunting low, as Stradivarius is singing in a Finnish heavy metal battle, and this is a heavy metal battle between these 2 Corvettes in a Daytona track. 0.2 seconds. Now is the place to make. He's too far away, so the Levitius can protect his place in this next one. No, Sippala didn't have a movement. Of course, now we are heading for the last straight of this race, and I think the Levitius will make his move. Now can Sippala pull himself for that P1, or cannot? Now the Pera need to has moved for the 4th position. There's a battle between 4 and 5 positions, so let's see what will happen. Sippala, they will go to the photo finish. They will definitely go for the photo finish. Now the cars are battling each other. No, Levitius went for that P1 and Sippala to P2 and Röskö. So Panic Potato, what happened to him? Did the fuel end? It looked like it, so the battle between the battle in P4 and another went well, but so the race have been ended, and what a show it was. Wolfie Jazz Haapsaari, and let's go through those end results really soon. And of course, thanks for joining here, but we are not ending yet. Please subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and please send the joyful word of Gran Turismo racing and a victory for Levitius in a pole position, a clean race. So congratulations for the South African team, and of course the Levitius for the first position. And of course it was a tight race, as we expected some kind of race and some kind of chess game between those two teams, and now we will see how the end results went. So South Africa versus Finland, Levitius in P1. Congratulations for the South African team. 51 minutes, almost 52 seconds. Sippala only 0.1 seconds behind. Leinonen got the fastest lap during the race. So the Finns in P2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Leinonen, Benedetto, Röskö, Könönen, Panic Potato. I think he had some kind of difficulties in last lap and dropped some positions from the battle in P3 to P4 and then forward for that. Finnish Shadow in P9, Wolfie, Chas 10th, 11th, Hapsari in 12th position, Branev in 13th and Ricard in 14th, so he did not finish. So there are the drivers of tonight. Levitius, Sippala and then Leinonen in P1, 2 and 3, and of course great race between these national teams. And of course thank you for everybody in home studios, and of course please keep up and follow up our streams in further on. And as I said, here's the Finnish national championship is starting in start of September, 7th of September in a road track Atlanta with this GR4 Lamborghini, and after that in every 2 weeks we will go through this race and this series, and the finals will be driven in end of November. So there's five races and only 13 or 12 of those best drivers will go ahead for that final weekend in the end of November. So please keep on supporting us, and of course we will support the South African racing team also. And of course thank you for the Siemens Motorsport Association in South Africa. Hopefully we will see you soon again, and this was the race, an exhibition race in Gran Turismo 7. My name is Markus Viitanen. I was the commentator today, and let's hope we will see you really soon. Have a great evening or day, and whatever you are joining then, and we will see you in a track in a bit. See you soon. Bye.